Hello everybody, it's Annie with Arachne's Demise here, and I make another soap today. It's one I've been planning in my head for a while and tried it a couple of times, a couple of different ways. Didn't really go as planned. I'm doing a rainbow soap. I've got 5 cups of my soap batter all mixed up, ready to go. Super fatted with rice bran and safflower oils today to keep things nice and soft and smooth and silky. And I colored all of my soap batters with either oxides or ultramarines. I want a really pungent pop of color, so that's why I chose those. They seem to have a really bold color that stays throughout cold process soap making. And I also added to each one just a tiny little bit of some ivory sparkle mica, just so it still has that little bit of a mica color glitter going on. I've got 5 sections, and I'm going to pour in each section, and then we're going to do kind of a Taiwan spinning swirl. So when I cut these, we can get that nice lotus effect when you put 2 bars together that I've seen a lot of. I really like that. My makeshift dividers don't have an airtight seal at the bottom, so I pour a couple at a time because it's going to sneak out the bottom a little bit. Very bottom, that's okay though. The goal with this little mold is to have 8 soaps. I'm going to cut this into 4 and then cut those down the center. That horizontal cut, that gets that really nice mirror effect. Been really into that lately. I'm pouring a little bit of a time, at a time. This fragrance that I chose is actually a blend of 2. I love blending my fragrances to get something that you'll never smell anywhere else. The first fragrance is actually called Rainbow. It's pretty fruity. We've got some berries, some peaches, some green apple in this fragrance. And the one that I mixed it with was actually a sort of like a one-time only clearance fragrance. I guess with one fragrance company, they'll have some left over from, special batches, and they'll sell it. It's like at a discount, one-time only kind of a price. And I got that. It did not even tell me what it smelled like. I just like the name. It's called Butterfly Garden. And that adds just a tiny bit of floral to this fragrance. Apparently a lot of people don't like florals, which I don't know. I love florals. I even like old lady perfume florals. I don't know. It reminds me of my garden and I love it. But this is not that floral. It really does smell like you're under a rainbow in a butterfly garden, and that's why I think this blend together makes the perfect choice for our rainbow color scheme here. I'm pouring out the last of everything. It's really quick pour today. We are getting thick. We're getting pretty thick. Not too thick, but we're thickening up. So I want to work quickly. Okay. We don't have a full Roy G. Biv going on either, but I thought red, yellow, green, blue, and purple is plenty. They're going to blend a little bit when we swirl as well. I love my disposable plastic cups because the little lines on the inside kind of let me know how much soap to add to each one, so everything's even without having to mess with my scale with soapy fingers and everything like that. And you can throw them out when they're done. Cleaning up after soaping is not the funnest part of it all, as I'm sure you know if you make soap as well. I save my soapy scraps, the really ugly ones, and I actually just melt those down with some water, kind of like a rebatch, but I use about 3 times as much water as I have soap, weight-wise. I melt that down, and it makes this ugly brown liquid soap, but I use that to wash all of my dishes, soapy dishes and other dishes. And while it's not proper liquid soap, it gets rid of all my scraps, and it really cuts grease, too. Okay. We're very thick over here. I'm going to take my dividers out. Should still be able to get a nice swirl happening. Alright, I'm going to tap this bad boy out before we do any swirling. I get my dividers out. The colors are very brilliant, which you kind of need if you're going to do a rainbow. Scrape, scrape, scrape. That was kind of a messy pull, but they're going to be swirled anyway, so I'm not going to sweat it. We're definitely a very pudding consistency trace going on right now. I'd like it to be a little bit thinner, but I'm not going to stress out about it. I still think we're going to get a nice swirl. Okay. Tap. Yeah, that guy in the middle, not my favorite, but hey, what can you do? I like to do my swirls really close together. Back and forth, just like the tides. All right. Now we're going to spin it. I'm just scraping all the way around, kind of pulling things a little bit. So essentially when I cut this, here and here, you're either going to get cool tones or warm tones, really. So if I swirl it a little, you'll at least get somewhat of a combination of that. Okay, I think that's good. We have a rainbow, everyone. Whoops. And there you have it. Simple as that. I'll give you the close-up here. Would have been nice if my batter was a little bit thinner, I'm not going to lie. But I'm still very pleased with the way that this turned out, and if I can learn how to tilt my camera so you get the whole thing. There we go. All right, there you have it. When I cut these, like I had said, I'm going to cut here, and then when I have the really thick bar, they're going to be about 3 inches tall. We're going to cut those down the middle and get that nice mirror effect. So I'll see you in the future. Hey guys, got my rainbow soap here ready to cut into 8 bars here. I was going to cut this yesterday, but my little baby didn't take a very long nap, so I did not have time to cut it. But it's nice and firm. I'm still sort of getting used to with my new water discount and the sodium lactate when to cut my soaps. I don't want to wait too long, but I don't want to cut them too early either. And these, since we're slicing down the middle, we want that to be a nice crisp image of my swirl. So I think it's perfect now. I cut off a little slice last night after she went to bed, and it looks like it was good for today. So first thing I'm going to do is just take my big old block, cut it in half. I've already marked. These are going to be about 3.5-inch square bars. We're going to end up with 8 of them. Okay. Even the cross section of that's pretty cool. Awesome. Now that this is thin enough to fit into my little logger, we're going to do that just so I get my cut straight. I'll cut very straight without this thing. Alright. One thing I'm going to be investing in the very very near future here, is a mandolin to shave off some of my uneven edges. You can buy like planing tools from different soaping websites and whatnot, but you can get a mandolin at Walmart for like 10 bucks. So I'm going to take that route. It's the same exact thought behind it. Okay. Alright, so there's a cross section of that guy. Zoop. going to be cutting those right in half like that. This soap, it smells so good. It is so like light and fruity, but not cough medicine-y. I do not like fruity scents that are really heavy. It just reminds me of Robitussin, and this does not smell like Robitussin. It smells like a really good like summer fruit salad. A little bit of fresh air, not quite floral scents, but just that outdoorsy kind of smell. Alright. So now the magic's about to happen. We're going to cut these guys like this. Kind of nervous. I get nervous before I cut a new soap design. I'm like, oh, is it going to turn out? Is it going to turn out? So, fingers crossed here. It's going to be, they're a little bit taller than 2 inches right now, but I'm going to shave this textured top off when I get my mandolin. So I'm going to put the flat end over here, probably shave off a tiny bit, but just not as much of it. I want to make sure my knife is super duper clean for this so I don't get any smudgies. Another nice thing for that mandolin is that after they cure a little bit longer, I can shave off any smudgies that may happen anyway. Get another paper towel ready. Alright, here we go. You know what? I'm going to flip this way because I'm right-handed. Oh, I'm so curious. I've been using a knife because I don't like my dough cutter. Alright. Here you. Knife got a little bit stuck there. I will be shaving that off. That's the cut we got. Hang on 1 second. Get this stupid Java update on my computer and it never actually updates Java. Boop. Boop. So these are the purple, blue, and green. I'm a fan. I am a fan so far indeed. One of these days I want to do a rainbow where all the colors get all the way in, but I was afraid of it getting muddy, so that's why I did the sections in my mold. Alright. Yeah, baby just fell asleep. I actually just got a text from my aunt. She's going to be coming up from Pittsburgh to visit today. They like to come up to Erie and get apples from a place called Birch Farms, where her and my mom and even me and my brother's kids, we'd always grow up and get apples there. So she's driving up from Pittsburgh. It's about a 2-hour drive. She's going to stop and visit. Hopefully baby's up by then. I'm really stuck in here, so I don't want to smudge my soap. I'm trying to get my divider out. There we go. Whoops. Beautiful. Little smudgies here. Get rid of that later. They're still olive oil soap, so they're still going to be soft no matter what I do to them. This is very Rasta looking right here. I like that. The red, yellow, and green. Beautiful. No matter which way you slice it, they are pretty. Pretty, pretty. Alrighty, 2 more. Clean off my knife. Hopefully my wire cutter's here soon. I've been saying that every single video. Got it on eBay and it's coming from the other side of the world, so gotta get through customs and all that jazz. It's gonna take a while. That was $7. You've been watching my videos, you know that I am very frugal, cheap if you want to go that route. But either way, I like to spend my money very wisely. I'm not frivolous by any means. Okay. Take this guy. This one has some of the pull around from when I was circling. Here you, a little stinger. A little bit of a drag mark there, that's okay. Nope. That's very cool. The tiny little yellow lines made it through. Pretty happy right now with the way these are looking. I've been loving the soap lately. Like I said on one of my previous videos too, I used to make just really plain soaps. You know, my goal was for it to be more good for your skin and not as so much pretty to look at. I mean, pretty to look at is nice. You're going to be using it, so it's going to disappear. I wouldn't want somebody to not use my soap because it was too pretty. And they weren't very pretty, so hopefully they were being used. But I've been watching other soapers on YouTube. I'm a big fan of Royal Appleberry soaping. She's so fun. Shout out to Kenny. And I'm watching Elaine Wright too. She makes beautiful soaps. They both do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm inspired. I'm gonna make them good for your skin, but also pretty at the same time. Doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. A little tacky in the middle still, but they're still slicing up so nice. See, now we have the purple and blue pull around. So that's gonna be a pretty lotus pattern. Here you. These ones are hard to get out. My one with the barrier. I'm gonna plane this off later. Okay. Another Rastafarian lotus. Oh, look how pretty that is. Zoop. Zoop. So nice. Awesome. That is my rainbow soap, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. I wish you could smell them. But I really appreciate you watching. Go ahead and like this video with a thumbs up if you did in fact like it. Hit me up on Etsy or here if you want to as well. I'm going to give you a sneak peek up close of these two before we go. Look at that. Very pleased with those. These two are probably my favorite. Awesome. Thanks again, everybody. See you next time.